Oregon voters, just in November, were gracious enough to say we wanted to fund veterans programs and services. And when we passed Measure 96 by one of the widest margins ever, in that measure specifically called out mental health. Specifically, because we know that people who do multiple tours and understand this war, post 9/11 wars, are being fought by 2% of the nation, and they're going multiple times. We are deploying right now, as we're sitting in this room, there's a mobilization ceremony happening here in Salem as we're ready to, once again, deploy Oregon National Guard troops to Afghanistan. And so when these folks come home, will there be a place for them if they have a need? And the numbers are not insignificant. You heard Senator Linthicum. When you think about, and we hear a lot about gun violence in this building as we contemplate gun bills, but what are those numbers? And when you drill down into them, the majority of them are suicide, and the bulk of those suicides are veteran suicides. 75% of veterans who kill themselves will do so with a gun. So when you're talking about 169 veteran deaths in 2000 and I believe 15 that were gun-related suicide, we didn't have 159 beds to put them in. So when we talk about who gets the business or what have you, I'm agnostic of where these get built, who's building them, but we need to build them. That's really what this comes down to. We want to prevent gun violence and gun deaths in this state. You do so by investing in mental health. Voters gave us the resources to do that in Measure 96. And now, because of a bureaucratic certificate of need process, we're going to say, well, voters of Oregon, we're not really serious about addressing that problem, even though you just gave a direction to come into this building and do that this session. And so I'm going to also urge, as a House member on that committee, that we make sure that bills that support veterans, including this, get through the process. I believe the House Veterans Committee members, I don't want to speak for all of us, but I believe in talking to many of them that we're ready to hear this bill on the House side, and we'd like to have our opportunity to make sure it gets to us and that we can weigh in on the House and get a chance to vote for it off the floor. I think that's what voters are expecting us to do.